But while I'm sitting down, I see a deer next to me. I see a deer. I put a video of it right here. Look at that deer. Taught me so much about Rudy. Yes. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Welcome to the Just Tai Now show. Just think about it. When you combine your mind with your heart, connect those two circles, and you let whatever come out, just come on out. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time this is coming at y'all. Enjoy this atmosphere. Now that we all in the same boat, we can start the conversation. Yes, we are here. I have a trip report for you guys. I have a trip report for you Tai'ers out there. Before we go into this, we do not promote the use of illegal or legal drugs. Do not recreate anything that you see on this channel. What you decide to do with your body is what you decide to do. This is for documentation, comedian, and for documentational purposes only. Yes, warnings out there. Warning shots. Bang, bang, bang. All right. So now, man, guys, hey, yes. It was a mushroom trip yesterday. Not too specific on how much it was. And I'm going to just go into the story. We're just going to talk and y'all just going to hear the story as I tie out loud. So, yes, I don't know how much it really was. It was kind of probably equal to a gram, or probably a little less. It was the thing about it was that it was mushrooms that's not part of my original stash. It was from a friend of a friend. From a friend of a friend. And I think it reminded me of some B plus white albinos. When I really look it up, I'll put a picture of it right here. But yeah, he gave us a little thing. And I was going to take the night before with the friend. Just keep it with the friend. But things got tidied up, and I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to do it that night, so it pushed it to the morning time. I fasted for a good 2 days. I was just eating some graham crackers, a lot of grapes, teas, waters, just keeping my body flushed out. Because if anything, I wanted to be able to enjoy this trip. I had a last enjoyable trip. I wanted to start this string of enjoyable trips. And what I mean by enjoyable is not being filled with so much anxiety for 5 hours. Like I can see, I could see it being for like it just come up a bit, but I was like, no, it's just gonna be all good. It's gonna be, I'm getting a lot more sure of myself in a lot more areas than I can even talk about or tie about on camera at this moment. But so I wake up in the morning time and I allow myself to get the house in order a bit, see what's going on, clean up a couple things, and then I was going to head out to the park. So I head out to the mountains in Bidwell Park, Creek, and I was going to take my bike now that can now get over rocks, because my other bike was a fixie, wasn't able to get over any rocks. But I was going to drive this on the trails. Got a lot of trails there. It was a nice, beautiful day. Wasn't that many clouds in the sky. So I was like, all right, right on, let's go. And on the way there, I feel as though now I'm on a new plane level of operating, how I'm moving. Y'all see how I'm progressing if y'all tie back and watch some other videos, not just take my word right here trying to put on the front or something right now. But I'm really growing. I really feel myself growing, and I'm really I'll say that on camera. I'm really appreciating myself so much more, appreciating the qualities, the hidden qualities, and diving into myself and finding even more appreciation for myself. So I was cool. I had the mushrooms. I was on the bike, but that's what I was saying. I felt myself. It was Easter. That was the cool thing. Easter Sunday. That's the controversy. That's the controversial part of it. All this is controversy. Everything I talk about. But this was on Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday. Estre. Something like that. But y'all know this is the day that the Christianity has said that Jesus resurrected from the dead after the 3 days. And also Easter, when you really get to the tie on it, was changed around from pagan holidays. Went from a pagan holiday. Hold on. pagan. There, I want that name. Yeah, it says the history and origins of Easter. Easter, which celebrates the resurrection from the dead of Jesus Christ, a holiday actually based on an ancient pagan ritual. Instead, Christians in the West celebrate Easter on the first Sunday after the full moon of the vernal equinox on March 21st. So it was just the full moon, guys. This was just, remember, this was written in 2014, this article, so it changes every year. But it was just the full moon, I believe, from I count full moons in 3 days, so it was from the 19th to the 22nd till today. So yesterday was that. This is gonna be a mix of history lesson and a trip story. Y'all know how we do. Easter is a festival celebrated by millions around the world who honor. Easter is a movable feast which is chosen to correspond with the first Sunday following the full moon after the March equinox and occurs on different dates around the world, since Western churches use the Gregorian calendar while Eastern churches use the Julian calendar. Alright, most historians, including biblical scholars, agree that Easter was originally a pagan festival. According to the New Unger's Bible Dictionary, the word Easter is a Saxon origin, Estra, the god, that's why I say Estra, the goddess of spring, in whose honor sacrifices were offered about Passover time each year. By the 8th century, Anglo-Saxons, I don't want to join your newsletter, guys. By the 18th century, Anglo-Saxons had adopted the name to designate the celebration of Christ's resurrection. However, even amongst those who maintain that Easter has pagan roots, there is some disagreement over the pagan tradition. Come on. Yeah, overall, it's a symbol for rebirth. That's where it comes from. It's a symbol for rebirth. That's where the Easter egg and the eggs and the surprise. People are like, where did Easter? How did it tie in with Easter and the Christ and church and stuff? Because it has to do with spring and a new beginning coming. Things hatching from eggs. So this is what I wanted to do with my Easter. I wanted to resurrect myself. I wanted to resurrect parts of myself that felt like it was a little down, and I wanted to rebirth from getting this spring energy, getting this summertime, get in line with what was going on with all around me. That's what this trip was about for me. So I go and I hike, and I'm hiking to the spot. I just keep on walking. There's all these beautiful, beautiful trails, and I actually have some that I can show you. I'm gonna throw some clips in there in the video. I forgot all about that. It's on my phone, and I was walking, I was just nibbling on them. I didn't take them all at once. I was nibbling on them, and I just took it, bang, bang, bang. And that's whatever I had was just what I had. I didn't take any extra with me or nothing. So I'm hiking. It's all beautiful, and I found myself during the come up, not knowing, like I said, I love when this happens, but just adventuring through the forest, it seems like. Well, I am venturing through the forest, not knowing what path to take, but still taking a path instinctively. So I'm not even thinking, one path, two path, three. I'm just like, just bobbing and weaving through the paths. Just like, yes, I'm going there. All right, cool, let's go there. And the birds were beautiful. The birds was beautiful. And I think the physical exertion and just the scenery allowed the come up to not be like, if you're sitting down, you'd be all jittery, but it was more focused on whatever was going to be anxiety. It was just going to be for me carrying the bike. It wasn't like my mental was attached to what I was doing. And this was my setting for the come up. This was my just taking notes. This was my setting for the come up, was me riding the bike on the trails or on the rocks along the cliffs and things like that. So I'm searching for a spot. I'm searching. I'm like, I want a spot that's not near that many, that people not going to walk by, but still far, like I still want to go far down, then go off the trail, like start going up the mountain, so I don't have to worry about people walking past me and all those flavors and things like that. So my mindset, I'm just catching all the trees, and every time I turn like around a little cliff thing, I just looking down. I'm like, wow, that is very beautiful. Like this is where I am, and just the rock settlements, rock placements, like where the rocks was placed with the trees and the backdrops. It was just amazing. It was amazing, guys. It was amazing. So I finally found a spot. And it's underneath a tree. I'll put a video right here so y'all can see what I mean.
I'm gonna chill underneath this tree.
That's where I was at.
That's where I was at. Switch that up.
I was sitting there underneath the tree, being able to look over the whole.
Some sun though.
Well, just a section. Just a second. Bidwell Park was like 20-30 miles, but I was able to look at where I just walked, which was really far, and see that whole section. It's really cool. So I'm sitting there. I didn't immediately light up. I set up a little section around me with the blanket and made sure I had some water. But that was the thing too. I didn't drink that much water, so make sure I stay hydrated. I brung the water, I drank it eventually, but when it comes to these substances and I'm hiking and stuff, I don't be feeling the need to eat or drink. But I still feel as energized as ever. I still feel as energized as ever. I just be walking, I just be going, it's mind blowing. So I'm sitting there and I finally found the spot. I don't even know what time it was really. I would say about an hour in, I don't know. But while I'm sitting down, I see a deer next to me. I see a deer. I put a video of it right here. Look at that deer. Yes, that deer was there for the whole trip, for the whole duration of the trip. That deer was just sitting there grazing on the grass. It was a little fawn, a little nice fawn. And the fawn was I was like, wow, this
Taught me so much about Broody.
is gonna be, I'm in for something good. I'm in for a good treat and things like that. I wanted it to come as close as it can. I was having vibes like, yo, if I stay calm, it's going to do whatever. Things just going to be cool. So I have some notes. I wrote down some notes as well as some pictures that I'm gonna throw in there to show y'all about this trip, so it wasn't just me saying, oh yeah, everything was all good, and y'all know how my memory get. I was seeing how cool taking notes are for like the past 2 weeks on everything on a lot. I've been taking notes on my phone, tablet, writing them down, because like once I get it down, it's out of my mind. It's not, oh, I gotta hold on to this. It's just like it's placed somewhere, so now my mind can do and focus on something else. But yeah, I was feeling accomplished, and I had thoughts about Easter and all those things while walking up to the mountain, about what I was doing and things like that, and about me really shedding a lot of programming that was in me. I felt that being shed while I was walking. I felt like a lot of programs being shed, that I had all these ideas that was based around what I thought this day was actually about. And now it's like, no, now you're making this day something. And this is your story right now. This is your story. So that was pretty dope to realize. That was pretty dope. So I felt like I was shedding a lot of beliefs, a lot of programming that was in my head during the come up. So by the time I got there, I was cool. I was relaxed for the most part. And so yeah, I'm there. I'm breathing, doing my breathing. That was a big thing that I was doing, is that I was breathing in real slowly for first 11 seconds. Why 11 seconds? Because it seems like magical synchronicities are there, but in my personal AI body, it was just as long. That was just as long as I was able to breathe in and count. So, but it added up to 11. So, and then I would hold it in, I would breathe out real slowly at 11, and that was all I was focusing on, was the numbers as I was doing it. And then eventually I was able to do it to 13. I just kept doing it. I was doing this with my eyes closed and open, sitting in the cross-legged position. I was doing that for the most duration of the trip. I was in a cross-legged position. So I was doing that, and that allowed my mind to like not attach to any thoughts. I was just flowing. It was something I wanted to do. It was something I was willing myself to do. And then eventually the numbers, though, started getting all loosey-goosey, and it just kept on, oh, I didn't write it down. Eventually, when I wasn't paying attention, the numbers just kept on counting. And I think it just kept on counting. Like I was on 13, I'm like, and then I opened my eyes, and I was looking at the trees that was now like a tint of purple, and seemed like they was all one mesh. It was all one mesh together. And it was just color trips going on. There was some color trips going on. And but when our eyes was open, the counting was still going on. And sometimes it was in sync order. I mean, consequential order. I don't know what that is. But when it just go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, and that thing. But sometimes it was jumping over like 14, 17, 21. It was just random numbers, but it kept on going. I tried to remember what number it left off at, but I didn't write that down. Out of all things. But my breathing was real cool. I loved doing the breathing exercises. And it's something I do in my yoga, but doing it during these trips, with the thought processes, the downloads that allows to come to me is what I'm gonna get to in this book. So just stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. I still got this story popping. Just Tai, just Tai, just Tai. Just think about these things that Tai is saying right now. And and also, to get out the way, I did some yoga during the process as well. I don't know if it was after the peak or right before the peak. I was right on the mountain and I was doing sun salutations. I did three sun salutations, and it just be feeling magical, guys. It just felt magical doing yoga on the mountain, looking over at the sun and everything, and how high up I was, not only in physical, but in my mind. Or should I say I was so down in my mind, because things is opposite. Everything is opposite, it plays out. But yeah, that's how it was. And it just allowed my mind to be clear. And my shoes off, and my shoes twiddling in the grass. I was petting the grass for a moment. Just like, yo, this is cool. This is real interesting. Looking at the roots and seeing how they all was coexisting together, the different plants, like just in one group. It was about like grass, weeds, and flowers. Just different varieties of life just in one little like square 5-inch square patch of dirt. That was real interesting. And so the deer, guys, remember, the deer is still there. The deer is still there, just looking at me, just all Bambi like. But I'm gonna get to some of these notes that I had. Here go one of my drawings. I'm gonna throw it in right there. Zoom up in on that. And also, this was one that I drew before that. I'm getting into this new style of like drawing, which is, it happens really fast. And if I put too much, I don't even allow myself too much thought. It just happens really fast. So I don't know what that was about, but I just wanted to share. And one of the first things I was coming to was I was asking a gang of questions. I was like, yo, I gotta start asking more questions, because I'll be chilling too, but as well, I want to ask questions right now. So I was just asking questions. And one of them, and that's what this book was coming down to. One of the questions, I was asking questions about the trees, because I was sitting on the tree. I was like, what is this tree really? Where does these trees come from? What are they doing? I was asking about time. What is time? How do I exist in time? How do I exist out of time? How can I move with time? Like, just give me something. And also, but to start off, I'm gonna go down the list. It was about, I wrote secrets, and y'all can see automatic writing. I think if you can't write, like, some reason I like to write in cursive when I'm during a trip, or when I'm writing really fast. I like to write in cursive, so it's not so legible when I really go back over it, but the message, the feeling is there, and I just gotta like really analyze it to get it. But trying to focus on writing individual script letters is a little too much sometimes. And I know that for a lot of people, but if you want to get down and don't have a vocal recorder, because it was something about my words too, that I didn't want to use my words, but being able to write it down was like the other voice being able to get it down instead of my word interpretation on it. And so one of the things I wrote down was the secret of the universe. It was like, yo, it was like the secret of the universe was coming to me, but it was coming to me as because I was asking what is in a sense, I don't know how I was putting it, but it was, all in all, it was funny because it was coming to me as a static sound, like a, and that was it. And also one of the pictures that I drew, when I look back down after hearing these sounds in my head, I look back down in the book the wind had flipped the book to this page. So then while having that thought, it flicked to this page, all these triangles that I drew. So then I just wrote a little note. I wrote secret to the universe. It could be the secret, or the secret universe could be for it, or it could be that. I think that's all the secret of the universe. But I'm just saying, during the trip, it was coming to me as static, and that the secret universe is not white or gray, but it's a blending of both being white and gray. I mean, both being, it's not white or black, but it's a blending of being white and black at the same time. Both being individual and not at the same time. And that's what the secret of life, that's what was coming to me around me having these thoughts of what the secret of life is. And how can it, like, in my mindset, what I'm able to bring back. It was just like, shh. And I wrote, it sounds like an explosion, but not an explosion. And I was thinking about my girlfriend, and I'm trying to say, it shows me great story. I don't know, but I was seeing how I was thinking about, I was in a state of mind that it seemed like I had something to do with her story. And I was coming to an appreciation, overall I was coming to an appreciation, a grander appreciation of her story, of her here on Earth. And I was like, yo, that's actually a cool story that I actually like. I like this story, the come up and child into where you are right now. It's an awesome story. And I was seeing how it was a story, and I was like, yo, I got something to do with this. And I was just coming to a cool appreciation of it, which was much needed. We all need to appreciate our loved ones around us so much more than we even know. And why I say that is because it's going to keep growing. Like, if you're 25, 28, or even if you're 40, when a good 10 years down the line, don't you want to say that you kept on growing? Or do you want to say that you already knew everything and that you didn't ever have to grow anymore, that everything was so good up to this time that you want to base the rest of your life off of this? But no, I think things is going to keep happening to bring love deeper, and what I mean, just bring aspects of love that we didn't know, because now we turned that corner with psychedelics or just with anything. We turned that corner in our mind and said, oh, this is here. Oh, cool. And I wrote, I can't really read this. It says, something here with two eyes want to... Something with two eyes. He had two eyes. Went to sleep. Oh, I wrote something said he had one eye, went to sleep, and then he had two eyes. I wrote that down. And we all get what that is heading towards. I'm just going to go through these, and it says, no. No more paranoia. Everything is here to remind me, not hinder me. Free me, free me, free me. I wrote that 3 times. Free me, free me, free me. Yeah, I was going through that. No one here is... I was getting rid of a lot of paranoia, and I was like, yo, no one here... It was this defense that I was coming up to me, but I was like, it was just as simple, and the mushroom was talking to me, saying, no one is here to hinder you. Everybody is here to remind you, to free you, to remind you of who you are. But you just got to keep looking at it like how you're supposed to look at it, or how you should look at it. How you should, not supposed. Free will is always there, but how you should look at it. That's what it was saying. And everything is literally there to remind me. Literally. Like, that's why I love making shows about... I was like, yo, that's why I made to make shows about just grabbing a leaf and making a whole thing about that, or just about movies and pictures. Everything, every little sentence people saying is to remind me of who I am. But if I don't want to be who I am, then I'm gonna see it as a kind of offense. I'm gonna do something that's going to be in a defensive position for one reason or another. But get rid of those defenses, because everything is here to remind you. the good, the so-called good, the so-called bad, everything. Because a lot of I was going through all these thoughts because I was in people's heads and saying, oh well, how can I relate to a villain and things? But I know how it is. And that's why I was coming to I was shedding a lot of other people's thoughts, and I was able to see in my trip what other people's thoughts was and what was my thinking. Because I'm cool with all of this, but other people, I take in so much. I think I wrote this down too. I take in so much that I gotta stay who I am. I gotta recognize where I'm coming from with things and recognize other opinions as opinions, which is still there to remind me as well who I am. But yeah, it was like I was relating to the villain, I was relating to the hero, and then I was relating to everybody. Everything was just coming to me, and I was just sitting there enjoying it, and sitting there just enjoying it. And I said, everyone is here to compliment us. I said, if we are the opposing force, something will bounce back. So if we have a thought in our head that we're opposing something, then something is going to bounce back. Rather, that's in the form of thinking you're doing good or thinking you're doing bad. That's just what Mushroom was telling to me, was that if you put an opposing force out there, something is going to kick back. Something is going to bounce back at you. And everything, and then I wrote down this. I said everything. This was kind of my thought because I see it as back in regular kind of script. But it says everything we do breaks harmony, no matter what in this dimension. Once still, time is killed. The words we say are our interpretations of the field. So once you get down to the words, because I exist in realms where words don't exist. Like, I'll just say that, like during the trips and period. And I'm seeing how that's where I exist. And being able to form words, even in your mind, is you just interpreting the field. It's me interpreting the field. I'm keeping terms of me. It's me interpreting the field. And I was back in a place where I wasn't interpreting nothing in terms of words. But if I do, I was seeing how Mushroom saying how that brings disharmony. But that disharmony is not to be dissatisfied. Just how it's not to be dissatisfied. It's just that's how the world works. It balances in order for it to balance out. So what that meant is that whenever I say something, I was getting turned. Whenever I say something or do something, anything, I'm causing a disharmony. But that thing, whatever I'm calling disharmony, is being balanced by something else out there in the universe, and I'm that balancing force as well. So that's where you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Just exist. Just be me. Just continue to be as creative as ever. As creative as ever, man. That's what I was getting. It was cool. Clones me. It was something else connected to that I was writing down that was pretty dope. Oh yeah, I was saying, this is jumping around right now, but that change is chaos. That change that I'm just talking about, like anything, anytime you do anything, you causing a disharmony. And what I was going into stillness. Yeah, once still, time is killed. Like once you're still, that's when you're not doing when you're still in your mind and things, that's when you're not enacting on this reality or causing a disharmony in this reality. It's only when you're sitting still. That could be true, but just think about these things. Just think about it. You be true or not. That's just what was going on. And so once still, time is killed. And I was meditating. That's what was going on. And change is chaos. And I wrote, I evolved chaos inside. And then I wrote Shiva. Like I was thinking I was right. I evolved chaos, or invoked chaos inside of me, or I recognized the chaotic factors inside of me, which is recognize the chaotic factors that is in the universe. And Shiva is Shiva is the destroyer that brings chaos and but balance to the universe, and that's what I was feeling. I was feeling like I was Shiva. I was feeling like, and that, but also I wrote also caretaker, shepherd, painter. I wrote shepherd because I remember saying it's the only term I can really think of in terms of like being caring and things as a shepherd. I was reading a lot of grass, but also threw in there painter. I remember that. So painter too, because painters change the world with their art, and that's what I aim to do. Or just affect the world, create change, because whatever I do is going to create this harmony, is going to create something, it's going to put something out there, shake the bed up a bit, rattle the bed. But the Shiva character was popping up in my trip. It was popping up in my trip, Blue Shiva. And I'm gonna jump back to where I was going in this trip. Go back in the book. I wanted to write or come up. I said, yo, I'm gonna use this force to come up with one of my nursery rhymes in this thing, but it didn't really work out like I planned. And after I came home and was coming down, I wrote in the book that I said the act of creating is present. Wait. I had the sense that I was trying to create while I was trying to create while I was creating. And I don't know if it was too much or I just didn't want to do it or something like that. I don't know. But I got a bunch of notes. I'm going to just keep on going through them. Alright, I said, now we're going to get into some tree stuff. We're going into some tree talk. Because I was trying to communicate with the tree as much as I could. Man, I wasn't a high dose, but I was there. So I was sitting with the tree, like I'll ask a question, then I would just sit and wait. And then it would literally, that's when the answers would come to me. And I sat and wait and things like that. And then sometimes it'd be in a second, sometimes it'd be a couple seconds, or after other thoughts happen, the answer will come after some other thoughts went through and came out and things like that. But I was just staying in a state of mind that all of these are thoughts and I'm not going to really attach too much feeling into it. And so I was starting to commune with the tree. I was asking, yo, what is this tree about? Where did it come from? Like, what's really going on with this tree? Why is it here? And once the answer came back to me, I wrote the need to bear fruit in this dimension, the payoff. Everything they do is to show off, bear fruit. And I was thinking about how pretty the flowers are, how pretty. I don't know if I was thinking, but this is what was coming to me, and I thought this afterwards. So I'm giving you my afterthoughts and my thoughts at the same time. But it was saying to show off, to bear fruits. And I was thinking about the fruits on the trees and how beautiful trees and everything are. And I wrote in quotations, and this meant that this is what I was thinking, not what it seemed like I was being told. I don't know, however it goes. It says the elves make cookies. The Keebler elves make cookies. And I had a vision of, the Keebler elves on the commercial, how they was living inside the tree. And they did all this hard work, but it was just to produce a cookie. But that cookie was so delicious that it was going to change it changed the world. Keebler has changed the world. I was having the sense that it was a lot of things going on in the tree. It was people living in there. It was workers. They had a whole life going on in there. And what they produced, and I wrote in this dimension, the payoff. I wrote that. And this is that the payoff is that in this dimension is fruit. And this dimension is the beauty and things like that. I don't know why they doing that, or why it's tethered to this dimension. Like if I'm in another dimension, you still bear fruit, or would that fruit have even more magical powers to it, or just tying. But it was like that the need to bring fruit, to bear fruit in this dimension. So I was like, yo, are they trapped here and they forced to work in order to bear fruit and do this, and they really want to do something else, or is this just like what they like to do, or I don't know. I don't have those answers, but I also had the vision of the elves and the North Pole and and Santa and things like that, and how the elves make the gifts. And I had a sense that when we give gifts, and we stick to the story of Santa Claus and things like that, that the elves really did create that gift that you given to somebody else. You think you conjured up that gift, but the elves created that gift for you to give to, for you work with elves to create that gift. Something happened so that you could give that gift to them, but it had something to do with the elves. And I was thinking, tying about all of the folklore, all of the Easter bunnies, and I was watching John Constantine cartoon a while ago, and he met the unconscious spirit of Los Angeles, and he was meeting with her, and she wanted to visit her and visit him and things like that. And I had the sense that this is what's all going on all the time, and that with the elves and things and Santa Claus or whatever, like, oh, we don't want our kids to grow up believing all this crap, is that it really is, it's a huge thing to it. It's a huge thing to it, I'll just say. It's a huge backstory to it, as them being actual beings, but not as we want, not as we think about it. But as we think about it is what our creation of is, our idea of it. But it's something else going on. Alright, next page. I drew this. This was pretty cool. I'm gonna add some color to all of these probably soon too. Drew that. Add this right there. And this was pretty cool. It was a box, and there's some crazy stuff going on. And I drew these all in like a good 30 seconds. It was just like real automatic. And this was another thing. It was like, talk back. Stop leaving us hanging. It's all good. It's all good. And you see the way I wrote all good. It's like it just came out. It just came out like that. And I was getting the sense that, like, yo, I'm always in touch with that. But that comes with the player instincts, and like, yo, it's all good. Talk back, talk back, talk back. And most people say, yo, that's crazy. Like, you going schizophrenic. What is going on with you? Why are you talking to yourself? But I have the sense that that's why I was showing True Life video when he was interviewing a homeless guy, and why I had all those other thoughts when I was on his live talking about the people that wasn't so put together in my life, but still wanted to, they still was being my best friend. And these were people that was like 20 years older than me and things like that. Not even particularly in my age group. People that was really out there. And they was showing me that those are the mindset. It's you cool. It's all good. It's all good because you know who you are and you live in comfortably. You have living as comfortable as you can right now. You're not living out on the streets. You don't have to beg for food. You good. Just talk back to us. You're not crazy. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not gonna add any other words to it because that's what they said. And I went through the change is chaos. And one thing I said, helps with memory so we can tell our stories. Oh, I wrote mushrooms. Helps with memory so we can tell our stories orally, not written down, but passed on and on and on. I wrote that on and on and on. And that's having the thing that they give us the power to tell our stories, because telling it orally as opposed to writtenly, which is still power in that, I'll tie on, but telling it orally is so powerful. And I was getting the sense that that's how it's been done for centuries or for millennia, however long humans been here, but we've been telling our stories and traditions, passing them down orally, and people listening to them and them being able to be so attentive to it. A story being having so much energy into that story that it painted a picture so vivid in their mind that it lasts for generations. And us telling these stories on YouTube and just all these things, and is that tradition, is passing on that tradition of telling stories orally, even though it's with the help of the visual. But sometimes just close your eyes and just listen. Just tie, guys. Tell your story. Start your conversation with the people and folks around you. But I was getting the sense that the mushrooms help with that, because especially with weed, if you grow up smoking a lot, you get memory lapse and with trauma and things. When traumas happen, we push traumas out of our minds so that we forget about them and push them to the side corner and things like that. Like, man, I ain't dealing with that. And then you literally forget them, but it still takes a toll on your life. So it was cool. I was getting my answers. I was getting some answers back, and I was writing them down. And I was having the sense that since I've been practicing writing down notes, that's why I was able to write down notes in this state of mind, because I've been practicing taking notes for the past 2 weeks. While watching movies or just randomly, like when I'm in a thought pattern, like, oh, let me write that down, because the thought would literally be gone, and then another thought will come in place of it, and then I'll be scrambling, trying to get back to it. But in this state of mind during the trial, I just let it sit, and I said, well, if it come back, it's gonna come back. And then when it came back, I was like, oh, cool. Bang, write that down right there. Stop everything right there. And I'm also wrote side your text to tell your story so you know. Oh yeah, so tell your story so that you remember who you are. Continually tell your story so that you know who you are, and so that you're putting a stake in the world of who you are. So nobody else is saying who you are, but you're saying who you are. But also, since you're so strong and so balanced in saying who you are, now the reflections of when people look at you, now it's going to reflect and fractal out. Just tie, guys, just tie. I ain't gonna break down things too much. I'm just gonna tie with you guys. And then I wrote, I forget a bit in turn, took in a lot. Free now. And I wrote exclamation points. So I wrote, I forgot a lot and in turn took in a lot. And then I wrote, I'm free now. Like, the more you forget, the more you take in just what's around you. I don't know. But that's what I wrote. I wrote a lot, guys. I guess this is when I came back. Yeah, that's all the notes I had when I was actually still out there on the trip. But I was still in that thought process when I came home. So, yeah, I'm gonna put some clips. Wait, now let me just keep going through here. Yeah, I'm put some clips of the deer right here. Where I was walking up to the deer, I was trying to get as close as possible. After a while, when it was all over, just skip to the end when I was about to leave. I was walking, whenever I felt fear and I was looking at the deer like, I don't know what to do, I would look over at the deer was starting to walk away. But when I was calm and in a serene state of like, because the deer was reminding me of my dog Rudy. It was the same color, it was like the brownish tan, but it was just so innocent, and the way that it just was moving around just reminded me of my dog Rudy, my broski Rudy. So whenever I thought like that, it was calm. It just stopped looking at me, and it would just put his head back down, start eating the grass, and started walking a little closer. It looked like it was trying to get past me, but it would start walking a little closer. I was like, yo, this is cool. I felt real connected to the animal. I felt just like you feel connected to the dog. I felt connected to this wild deer. And that was very interesting. And while I started crawling on all fours to try to walk towards it. And while I was on all fours, because when I was on standing upright, it was like attentive, like what's going on. But when I was on all fours, it was just like, oh, this must be just another animal. It's cool. And it was really cool. I was trying to get as close as I can so I could take a picture. And then that's when I saw, and just the experience too. And that's when I saw the mama deer too around the bar. I said, oh, you was here that whole time? I was wondering, where was the mama? Where was her family at? And as well, another trippy part, just another scare part, was I kept hearing a cough, and it sounded like my dog coughing. But I found out it was the deer. Like, and I was like, yo, is this like a coyote or a mountain lion or something? Should I leave? That was like the only real fearful part of the trip, was hearing that cough and not really knowing if it was a coyote, if I should get up, because I wasn't near nobody's way to get me, and I was going to have to run too. Like, it was a bit hard to carry my bike. But I stayed because I'm not having no fear. I'm not having no fear right now. Whatever happens, happens. But if I did, since it was a bigger mountain lion, I probably would have moved though. But. So after all those beauty and things, I put another clip right here. Yeah, it was all good. And so I came home, and that was another thing. I have huge allergies, guys. And while I was during the trip, I didn't have to blow my nose not once. I didn't have to scratch my eye. Probably had to scratch my eye, get something out of it. But not allergy-wise, not once. Not once. Like, I got tissue right here just in case. Like, and I got the air conditioner on to get out the pollen so I can make these videos and not be sneezing all along the while. But I was having the sense in that trip that I was saying, yo, I don't believe that I have allergies. I kept saying that to myself. I don't believe I have allergies. And after a while, when I started getting a grip that, yo, I haven't been blowing my nose, I was like, yo, I want to say to myself in this state, like Paul Stamets said, I'm going to stop stuttering. I'm saying, I don't have allergies. But I didn't want to think about it so harshly. I just wanted to let it be like, I don't have allergies. And because I didn't want to think about the opposite so much that the opposite starts occurring, if you know what I mean. So I was just letting it flow. So I didn't have to, and that was one of the best relieving parts of the trip, because I was breathing. Like I said, I was breathing in for 13 seconds and breathing out, like, very cool. But as soon as I got down from the mountain, it was back on. It was back on and popping with the allergies. And that's when I found myself trying to distract myself, saying, yo, these allergies are not real. These allergies are just something that I made up. I was in that state of mind, saying, these allergies are something made up. So I'm wholly convinced that eventually I'm going to be able to get rid of these allergies without any medicine. I don't take any medicine right now, because over the years I've been getting immune to a lot, very immune to allergy medicines after I take them for a while, and then they don't work no more. But I'm like, I want to be one with the plants. I don't want to be scared of the plants. Why are the plants attacking me? Like, this is a pollen and stuff like that. So, man, I want to be one with it. So I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but that was my thought process. And as well, one of the controversial parts I want to talk about was that, again, that this was Easter, that this was on Easter Sunday. And I had the sense that I wanted to get my own rebirth going on. I think I already said this. I did get that out. I wanted to get my own rebirth going on. So it was my story I was telling. That was my story. Not telling that. My story I was living and experiencing. I wanted to traverse and come back and say, yo, hey guys, you can do this too. This is all of us right now. This is all of us walking up here. Yeah. Come. All right, I will in just a second. I'm almost done. I'm gonna keep the door open. So, that this was Easter Sunday, and that was that was a big turning point. But yeah, I got through that already. And then I said, this life is the result of all of our decisions. That ties into what I was just saying. I wrote, this life is the result. I'm in the shower right now because my allergies is attacking me. Or I just got out the shower, but my allergies was attacking. My eyes was bloodshot red. I put a picture of it right here. Like, you see, my allergies came back full. Like, yo, what was you doing? What was you doing, bro? It's like, so that's what was happening. I was itching all over from sitting in the grass and stuff. It was just wow. But I wrote, this life is a result of all of our decisions, not just one person, but all of ours. Or else this construct wouldn't exist as it is. It would exist somewhere different if we made other decisions. So now I'm happy I'm starting to make other decisions. It's just a thought that was coming. And that instincts. And then I wrote the Library of Alexandria. The books that was in the Library of Alexandria contained so much information that they had to leave this dimension, and that's why they was burnt. Just Tai. That just came to me when I was looking in the mirror. That the Library of Alexandria was burnt. Like the case of it being burnt in this dimension was the books leaving this dimension because they had too much information for humanity at that time, because where humanity was going. Remember, Alexander the Great was conquering the world was trying to conquer the world at that time. Why? Like, he was killing, raping everybody. Like, I just call him Alexander, but they call him, I say Alexander the Great just so y'all know who the heck I'm talking about. But he was doing a lot of madness, trying to conquer and do all of that. And he was in search of knowledge and stuff too. But in the process, he was doing a lot. It was no, but yeah, no. In the process, he collected all this stuff. Yeah, I'm backwards, guys. He collected a lot of his information from conquering the world and things like that. Conquer as much as the known world, and he brought all these books back into the Library of Alexandria. But it was all these other conquering things, like that vibe was still there. So that's why the books burned for one reason or another. It could be that, or it could have been just the way we was thinking overall. The books just left. Just tired, guys. Yeah, I was wrong, didn't come down. And then I had thoughts about the time stone, and that somebody probably has a time stone. They switched up reality, like the Infinity Gems. They had a time stone. They switched things up so that they didn't. I had a sense that they didn't rewrite history, in the sense that they didn't change the books, like went back and scribbled things out, but that they actually changed time. That somebody or something changed time, and that we're living in another time zone, so to speak. I want to tie on that in a specific episode, but that's the sense I was getting, that something had a gem or something, and was messing and manipulating time. So it wasn't like, oh man, this is what really happened and things like that, and this is what we believe, but that is what happened, but things were switched up. Just tired. This is thoughts that was coming. And also, when I was on the mountain, I was having a sense, go back to the mountain, that I was being set up now for magical training, whatever that, it means a lot to me, but I was being set up now for magical training. And I said, again, everything's remind me. And I'm acting as a magician on camera. Yeah, that was all my notes, buddies. It was a very beautiful, beautiful trip. I really enjoyed my time with the mushroom, and the mushroom is always there, voice is always there, but just the trip report. And again, don't recreate any of these things, but this was awesome. This was an awesome time. I really enjoyed myself. I'm really happy that I took the time to do that, to take the leap off the cliff.
This trail going home, pretty awesome. Not gonna be able to hold the camera at the same time. I'm gonna go up that swirly stuff. I'm gonna go off that cliff, right on the edge. Then head back. Home ski. Well, I was just home. But my sim home.
and enjoy myself. Enjoy the self. Enjoy the self. Not myself, but enjoy the self, which is the world and universe. I had fun, guys, man. So just remember, look out for setting. What thoughts is there, and where you are, who's around you, because you can build up a beautiful trip. You can build up a beautiful time that's not filled up with so much anxiety, but filled with beauty and contact that love and divine. That all of that stuff, man. I don't even want to muck up with terms. I gotta say one more thing I forgot to add, guys. I was asking a bunch of questions about time, and specifically at that time, it seemed like he was just laughing. The mushroom was like kind of laughing, ain't really explain that much. But when I got home, like I say, my whole life is in this Thai-ness. My whole life is in the Thai right now. So everything is everything is reminding me. I ran across a movie, just randomly scrolling through the Fire Stick, old movies. It's all randomly listing things, and it was a movie on time travel, and it was came out in 1985, and it was about a kid who was time traveling with this AI robot that zapped him out of time and took him out of time and things like in order to experiment on him. So, and also it was another movie, Mr. Peabody. What is it called? Mr. Peabody and Sherman. That awesome movie DreamWorks, and the other one was by Disney. Those two movies came in. I conjured up in the conscious field, or was put into this conscious thing for me to tie about time. And it's another movie as well that I didn't get to watch. It was 3 movies, but I watched Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and I watched the other one. Oh, that just went out of my. I don't know the title of it, but the one with the boy that traveled out of time is made in 1985. A very obscure Disney movie. I didn't even know it was Disney until the logo popped up. So look on the lookout for those Thai movie reviews, because that was my answer I was looking for, or as much as the answer as I'm going to get right now, is that I can tie on in public. So hey, back to that. With terms and words. And before I go off, another thing, I was asking, why do I think the ways that I think? Because my thoughts are different. And it said because your thoughts are on a different plane. And that was just point blank period. Your thoughts are on different. That's what the mushroom said. Because I think in terms of music. I think in terms of plays and dramas. That's how I think. I think in playing, like, I create characters for my thoughts, and they play out what I'm thinking. And I don't just have like Twitter thoughts. I don't know how to put it. I don't have just. My thoughts are grand. My thoughts are rich, and and creative. And that's what it said. Also, when I'm creative, that's when I'm still. Also, that's when I'm able to be still and get out of time. Is when I'm being creative. When I'm creative, I'm out of time. When I'm creative, I'm out of time. So that's what I'm gonna continue doing. It was very cool. It was very cool. It was very cool, guys. And much love to you. Much love to all y'all Tai'ers. Leave some comments below. Let me know what y'all think. And like, comment, subscribe, hit that, smash that like button, do whatever you gotta do. Hit it 4 times, hit it 10 times, do how many times you gotta do, just to let the YouTube algorithm know that we here. Share your story, and check out the Discord so we can share your story on there as well. If you have any information, any way you want this show to go, any ideas, you want to be a part of it in any shape or form, hey, come on over. And until next time, guys, we all Thai. But do we really Thai? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. Till next time, this is Thai saying Thai always, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. For real.